This is Single, Saved, and Growing, where we share the real life of single life with open and honest conversations with Queen Kai and Madam Tjay. Hey, y'all.
What's going on?
How are y'all doing? We're back with another episode, and today we are talking about grief.
Yes, we're talking about grief, and we know that it is a heavy topic, and some of us, we don't want to talk about it. Some of us, we can talk about it, but I think it is an important thing to bring up, especially in this time. We've all have been experiencing grief in some way, especially since 2020. Yeah. I almost can't count on one hand how many people we have lost since 2020 in just our family alone. So a lot of people got hit hard, got hit back to back. And so I just think it's an important thing that we should talk about and highlight and find out what are some healthy things that we can do, some healthy habits we can create, and just to not to move forward, but to keep going.
Mm-hmm. And even to be more aware, like how can we be more aware of grief and how it's showing up in our lives, so we can be better people.
Yes.
Okay. So with that being said, grief is
a deep sorrow, especially that's caused by someone's death, or it can be a trouble or annoyance. Right. So, and there are many things that we can grieve, right? It's not just the death of someone. It can be the absence of someone or the loss of someone, the loss of relationship when you have been with somebody for a year to really from 6 months to 20 years and you're not friends with them anymore, or your pet runs away, or, whatever.
A job. You can grieve a job. Any type of loss, anything that was prominent in your life and it goes away, you can experience grief. Right. And I think sometimes we just don't even acknowledge, we don't even know that, like, oh, this is grief. Like, I remember one time when I was working, I was working this other job, and then I was teaching, and then me and you started working together. Mm-hmm. And so my life changed a little bit. My hours changed, like what I was doing changed. The people I was working with changed, obviously. And then I remember her saying after a month or two or so, and she was like, I'm sorry, like I didn't realize that this was a change for you and that you were experiencing grief of what you lost, or whatever, because we just going day by day, and she don't understand, like, why you not, like, come on, get with the program.
This is a good job.
This is a good job. Like, come on. Like, and I'm like, yeah, I know I'm enjoying it. It's not bad, but it was like, I had to grieve the job, losing the job, the people, because I really did love the job, but they were just not treating me well. And so I really had to acknowledge that and grieve that. And so I remember you saying that, like, what? Like, oh yeah, I'm sorry, I didn't realize. And I appreciate you for that, like, really, acknowledging me in that moment, because I didn't even see it for myself. I'm just going day by day, but it's like, yes, I was experiencing grief from leaving that job. So it's grief can be from anything, any type of loss.
Yes, we recently, this past April, we lost our grandmother, and it was a heavy thing for our family. It was unexpected, like we just didn't know. And so I think even if you had time to prepare, like we had barely a week to prepare, like, and everything was just happening so quickly. And it's like, first she goes to the hospital and we're thinking like, okay, she's going to be okay. It's just going to be a couple days, whatever. And then like, nobody's acting like everything is so serious. And then it's like each day it gets more serious and more serious. And we don't even have time to prepare ourselves. Like, okay, maybe this is it. This is the big one. And so we've been riding the roller coaster of grief.
Yes.
A fresh grief.
A fresh grief. And even in us experiencing it, it's like you have to realize that everybody doesn't grieve like you, and how you feel in one moment, your family might not feel in another moment. So it's really like, I know we talk about boundaries a lot, but we have to respect each other in those processes, and like understand that everybody is not going to feel that same way. Like I remember one time my sister was really wanted to talk about my grandma and go on and on about this, and I'm like, I'm not there today. And what I should have did is just tell her, hey, I'm not ready to be talking about this right now, but I just left. I just left her. And I said, I did not want to talk about this. But in that, you just have to realize where people are and respect them. And I think sometimes even I do have a hard time with that because I'm like, I want everybody to be where I'm at. I'm like, okay, when I'm sad, let's be sad together.
Right. You gonna call me and be sad. Don't call me and be sad if I'm having a good day.
Right. And if I'm happy, I want us to be happy. But I had to learn how to respect where each of my family members were with this loss, and also make sure that I continue to move forward, because I think something that's important is that a lot of times, like, we take on grief. We put on a coat of grief instead of experiencing it. Like, okay, like this is my high, this is my low, and stuff like that. But we cannot put it on and leave it there. Yeah. We can't put it on and leave it there forever. And we have to just kind of not, I want to say, like, make it our personality, make it our stronghold, make it our chip on our shoulder. But we just have to be like, okay, this is what I'm going through right now, and I release it, especially as believers, because we all know when there are things we can open the door. So I'm grieving, but now I've opened the door to depression and anxiety, and anger, and now I'm sinning because I have taken this thing on instead of experiencing it.
Yeah, I think that's so good. I think that's so important. That's when we have to figure out who God is and allow God to help us in these moments. Sometimes I need the comforter. Sometimes I need the helper. Sometimes I need the bridge over troubled water. That's when we have
Sometimes
to know.
I need the peacemaker.
Sometimes I need the peacemaker. And wherever we are in this stage of grief, or wherever I am in this day, how I do not take that grief on is allowing God to help me through it. Yeah. And I'm not saying it's so easy. It's not easy at all. But we have to try. We have to try. And just as soon as we say, hey, Lord, help me out, He's going to be there. He's going to rescue us every time because He's a good Father. So He will come to your rescue. But I think sometimes the hard part is acknowledging that I need some help in this. Yeah. And I think when it switched for me, because my grandmother passed 2 months before I was finished with school. And so I did spend a week away from school, and then I had to get back to it, and I did not want to go back. But while I was there, it did help me to stay busy and keep my mind off, and not so much idle time. But as soon as I got done with school, I felt like it ripped the Band-Aid off, and I had to start the whole grieving process over. Yeah. I felt like I was so strong when I was going through school. Like, okay, y'all, like, yes, it's hard, but I'm getting through this. I'm working through it. But I'm telling you, I think I probably spent a couple, 2 weeks depressed. Like, when I got out of school, it was really hard. Yeah, it was really hard, but I needed God to help me in a different way. Like, while I was in school, I remember my pastor, even she was like praying for my strength, like, Lord, give her strength, give her strength. And that's what He did. And so it did help me, but it's like, okay, now that I'm done with school, I need a comforter. So Lord, be my comforter, be my peace, be my joy, like, restore my joy, restore my fight, restore my power to get up, so.
That is so good. That's so good, because He will be that, but we got to know what we need. Yeah. We have to know what we need. So yeah, I feel the same way. Yeah, I was working, and so yeah, like, in this moment, God, I need You to be my strength so I can power through. And now, God, I need You to be the comforter that You are. Yeah. And that's why He's so great, because He can be so many things for us. Yeah. Call Him by name directly.
Come on,
Jehovah Shalom, I need You. Yes. Okay. Yeah, that's really good. That's really good. Thank You, Lord, for that. Yes, when I think it's even important as believers too that we have to be honest with ourselves, because it's so easy to be like, oh no, I'm good. Like, no. I remember too, because like our grandmother had passed on a Saturday, and we had went to church on a Sunday, that next Sunday. And I knew I needed to be in the church because I didn't want to be at home. Like, everybody can't do that, and I understand, but I needed to go back to church. Okay. And so but like they had kind of did an announcement and everything, and I said, Kyra, you better not cry. Like, don't cry. Do not show any emotions. Like, don't show these people like you are not going to break down in this place. You're not going to fall in this place. And I was like, why did I do that to myself? Like, no, it's okay for us to feel how we're feeling. Like, and I wish I would have let myself break in that moment, because I had people to help me there. Yeah. But I felt like I had to put on the front, like, no, I'm strong and I'm good and God got me. And even though He does, but in that moment, I did not feel that. And so it's okay not to be okay. Yeah. And I know that's like a cliche saying, but it is. And I feel like when we acknowledge that too, it makes the grieving process a little bit smoother when we acknowledge what we're feeling instead of just trying to push it away and fight it and say like, no, I'm not sad. I'm good. And so, yeah, for me, I had to really like be like, okay, I am not okay. I'm not okay. And I need help and I need prayer, or I need to get something to eat. I need to, whatever those things that I needed in those times, or what that you need in those times. It's okay to ask for them, and it's okay to get them for yourself, but don't overindulge. You know what I'm saying? We ain't trying to go down no slippery slope. We just trying to get our help and keep moving.
Yes, and I think it's important to know that there is freedom in your emotions. Like people teach us that crying is weakness, or crying is weakness and things like that. But there is freedom in the ability to feel something, and it's okay. You free yourself if you just cry. You free yourself if you let out a scream. You free yourself when you acknowledge that you're angry. Like, it's okay to feel these things. But the moment that we try to mask how we feel, we try to hide how we feel, we are pushing it down, and we might as well be pushing our own selves in a box. Yes. And a jack in a box. We are winding that jack in a box, and it's gonna cause an explosion later. Yes. So we let Lord free us Lord, from the thought that we can't be emotional, or that something that being emotional is bad. Yeah, because it's not.
Absolutely not.
It's freedom in it.
I want to talk about grieving relationships. Has there ever been a relationship or something that you had to grieve that was not a death? Something that you had to grieve that wasn't a death?
Yeah. Jobs, like just like how you said earlier, jobs, even friendships. Friendships, like I feel like with my group of friends have changed a lot over the years, and I just remember, like, I really get upset about that. Like, it's not an easy transition, because once I welcome you in, you're in there. Like, my mama know you, my grandma know you, like, my dad maybe even know you. Like, you really in there if my dad know you. Right. And so, like, I really accept people with my whole heart. I love people very strongly. And I guess, and it's like maybe it's disappointment and it's grief too. But like, yes, I think about somebody, I can grieve the thought that I made, the thought or idea of the person that I made. Like, I thought that they were this way, and I thought that they were super kind, and I thought they were super loving and here for me. And when I turned out that they weren't, I grieved the person that I made up.
Yeah, I grieved the person that I created in my mind.
That I created in my mind. Yeah, so yeah, I don't have a specific incident that I can remember, but I know that I do for sure. Friendships are one that I can remember grieving after that. And then you just have to move on, because they're integrated in your life. You call them in the morning, you talk to them all day. When you want to travel, you calling them, and so it's like, now I don't have that person. What am I going to do?
Yeah.
What about you?
Yeah. I would say friendships and also a relationship. I remember when I was in college and I was in therapy, and during that time I was experiencing a breakup, and so I knew that the breakup needed to happen because the person just wasn't good for me, and so I was in therapy and I'm telling a therapist about it, and so he was asking me, and so I was saying like, yeah, this is disappointing or something, like he did this and this and that. And I was like, but it's going to be okay because blah, 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 blah. And he was like, I mean, I don't know why, I don't know what made you just like cut that off right there, and if you don't want to go to that place, it's okay. But I do want you to know that it's okay to grieve that relationship. And I was like, what? That really blew my mind because I had never thought about that. Like, I'm like, no, I can't grieve or experience like I'm sad about this loss. I can't go to that place because it was bad for me. This person was bad. This person was bad. And I needed to get out. But it was like, just that's true. And it's also true that you also are losing somebody and you're losing a relationship. So they both can be true. So yeah, I can experience this grief and say, man, this is disappointing and I'm hurt by this and I'm losing this person in my life. But I can also say this person wasn't good for me and not go too far like, oh, but I'm grieving. I can go back to you.
Yeah. And I think maybe that's why we don't allow ourselves to grieve relationships, because we're like, oh, if I'm so sad, I'm so sad I need to go back.
Yeah.
But it's like, no, baby, you so sad because you letting it go.
That's funny. Yeah, you're just letting it go. So go down that road in that moment of letting it go, but don't go back, y'all.
Don't go back.
Yeah. So that was a really eye-opening experience for me, because I didn't realize, one, that I could grieve, and then two, that I was grieving. Like,
yeah, we have to give ourselves permission. Like, we have to give ourselves permission to grieve, to feel, to have emotions. Like, it's okay. Like, we are only human beings, and we have to allow ourselves the strength to acknowledge where we are and to feel where we are. Give yourself permission to break down. Yeah. Give yourself permission to be happy. Give yourself permission to experience joy. Because I know sometimes after we receive experience a loss, we're like, oh, I can't be happy now because they're not here with me. And if they were here with me, it would be better, whatever. But the truth is, the person that you lost or the relationship that was lost, they would want you to be happy. If they really loved you and they really care for you, they would want you to be happy. So what are some things that helped you, that have been helping you through this grieving process with Gigi, or even some of the relationships and friendships you've lost?
Yes, definitely. I would say being around people. I think like right now, y'all, it's our our 10-year class reunion. We getting old. And so we've been around people a lot. Even during the time of my Gigi's death, like, my friends coming in and helping us, like just really letting those people come in and help me say, okay, I want to let you go eat somewhere. Like, I'll take you to go eat, or what do you want? Just really allowing those people to be there for me, in which I don't, or they don't be there anyway. But at this time, people really showed up. So letting those people who show up for me, let them show up. And so being around people, really doing the things that I like I went to eat, y'all. I'm going to eat, okay? Like, and you don't want to give into gluttony, but I'm just saying, like, those little places I wanted to try and do, I did. I went shopping. I shopped a lot. I did a lot of retail therapy, okay? It works. So I feel like just doing those things that you love, okay? If you don't love shopping, you don't like eating that much, okay, what do you like to, I feel like I went outside a lot more. Like, I've been outside enjoying nature, like getting those breaths and working out. I've been back working out. And so those are things that I've been doing. But I think that anything that you really love to do, like things that really bring your heart joy, push yourself out of bed to go do those things. When somebody call you and say, hey, this new movie came out, I know you love movies, go. Like, you have to push yourself to do those things. So those are some of the things that I did. Community, utilizing my community, absolutely praying, praying like, God, I need you to help me, like praying and reading my word so I don't put on that grief jacket, but I keep the garment of praise on, just to help me. Community, prayer, and reading the Bible, and doing the things that I really love to do and enjoy.
Yeah. I think also for me, community was a huge thing. Like, I didn't realize how much, like, so when our family came in, I felt like I could take a deep breath. Like, okay, like, I just felt like the love was there, even though people wasn't like super trying to be in my face, hugging me, asking me what I need, but just them. I mean, some people was, but like just the presence of my family, like that really healed me and helped me. And also like saying what you're saying, like getting the things that I need. Like, I have my godmom, she has like a super nice tub and all the bath salts and soaps and sponges and loofahs. She got all that. And so she just let me come over there and take a bath. Yeah. And that's all I need. I sat in there for hours. I watched TV. I drank some cold water. Like, it was good. So also those unconventional things. I think somebody had bought us a candle. Like, that made me happy. Everybody brought food. Y'all know they're gonna bring chicken over. So we really didn't have to worry about food. And that's helpful too. But so yes, I would also say community, doing those kind of unconventional things, and then just community, because I just feel like that was most important. Like, having people love on you for real. Like, people would send in texts, and sometimes it was overwhelming, and sometimes I didn't read it that day, or I had to wait a couple days. But all in all, I did enjoy the texts and the love. Like, even my friends saying like, I loved your Gigi like she was mine. Like she treated me like she was my grandma. Like all those things was very helpful. So I would say to people to find the things that you love again. Yeah. Find the things that bring you joy and try to do those things. And most importantly, allow Holy Spirit to be what you need in those moments. Acknowledge and accept where you are. Ask Holy Spirit to help you, and then find the things that you love and enjoy. And I think it's not going to make it easier, but it'll help you get through those moments.
Yes, absolutely. Acknowledge and ask.
Acknowledge, accept, ask.
Oh, I like that. You know I love alliteration. Acknowledge, accept, and ask, okay? Mm-hmm. And we know that there are 7 stages of grief. No matter what stage that you are in, acknowledge, accept, and ask the Lord to help you in those particular areas. Mm-hmm. Thank y'all so much for tuning in. We love y'all, and we hope that whatever thing you are experiencing, that God will be Jehovah Jireh and provide everything that you need. Peace out.
We want to thank you for listening to Single, Saved, and Growing.
Remember, you won't always be single, but you'll always be growing. This episode is part of the Breaking Ice, Building Bridges community podcast platform.
Brought to you by Possibilities.